between the New York Jets and the Minnesota Vikings. The calendar has turned to December, and we're in the home stretch now as we're underway in Week 13.
Kenny Nwagu now out of his end zone.
And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line.
Vikings take over first and 10 at their own 17-yard line.
They start the drive with Cook. And he roams across the 20 to the 24-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
This defense for the Jets, they put together a strong effort last week in the win over Chicago.
Yeah, and what stood out to me on tape, the way they were flying to the football. So that tells me that they've got all their assignments down, and they're playing with extreme confidence.
Takes it to the 26, just a 1-yard gain. An early task, 2 plays in. This is 3rd and 2. To throw, Cousins.
That's complete to Justin Jefferson. And he will have a Vikings first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. The Vikings at 6-5 now on the year. And they come in on a pretty good roll here, winners of 3 straight.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Cousins gives way to Cook, and he is going to lose yardage here. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Play action now. Cousins.
Oh, going for Jefferson downfield. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Bryce Hall. And the Jets are going to get the football here as they force the INT on the game's opening drive.
I really don't think you can fault the decision-making here because your offense and quarterback, they really had a big week last week, and you're ready for them to go again here. Not the anticipated result, of course, but you definitely understand why they did what they did. That quarterback's been hot. You want to keep the ball in his hands and see if he can keep the magic going.
Now Carter to start the drive. Knifes his way forward here, but just 3 yards on the play. 2nd down.
Well, there's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
So, Charles, our first points of the game provided defensively. What a play that was.
And I can only imagine that the folks at home watching are thinking to themselves, that's one of those plays where once the ball leaves the quarterback's hands, you just sort of go, uh-oh, and wait for the result. This time, the defense benefited.
And Johnson's extra point up and good.
And it's now a 7-0 game. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive.
They are back over the 500 mark for the season. Got there with a win a week ago, their second straight victory.
But they've definitely gotten better as this season has gone along, and from what I can tell, they know their roles. Everyone understands how they fit offensively, defensively, and this team now has an identity, and they're playing to it and playing well.
Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. Give that sack to Harrison Phillips, the big man.
Not the start to this one that any quarterback would want or envision. Remember, he had the pick six, and here he ends up on his backside.
Yeah, and you have to wonder to yourself, okay, after throwing the pick six, did he get too careful with the football and not deliver downfield and take that sack? They've got to make sure that he's really into this game.
Another try after the first down sack. Wilson under pressure, and they got to him again. Jordan Hicks, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
So now Wilson and the Jets with a 3rd and long here following the sack.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete.
That looks like it's going to be 2 empty possessions now to start this football game. I think they're going to have to sit down and talk about what worked for them last week in their win. Sometimes you over-game plan, overthink things. Get back to what works.
Fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
They are back over the 500 mark for the year. A 3-game winning streak really coming at the exact right time, Charles, to get them back into playoff contention.
And it's always a question of when do you want your football team to peak? And everyone always talks about you want to be playing your best ball going into the playoffs, but sometimes you need your best ball before that time. And this team, going into this stretch of games, they are certainly playing their best football of the year.
From the 44, Cousins.
That'll be caught. Rager with it. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a 1st down.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Next to receivers, they'll spread the defense out, and they were able to come through with a slashing run.
But to that point, it's going to be interesting to see the personnel chess match as this one progresses.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Can they continue to create running lanes out of passing sets? And if so, it's going to be a long day for the defense.
2nd down, they go right back to Cook.
And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Off the play fake, Cousins. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here in this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on 1st down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Cousins now.
Quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
Many times the mindset of a play caller after a quarterback's thrown an interception on the previous drive is to come right back and give them a throw to get their confidence back. Give them something easy, get a completion, kind of get them settled again. Instead, this ball was tipped in the air and almost turned into an interception. Offense trying to make a big play, defense trying to make a big play, turned into an incompletion. So now maybe
touchdown Vikings.
Justin Jefferson
with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now in the year.
And the Vikings go up by 2 touchdowns.
Early on, they have all facets of the game working in tandem.
Yeah, you get the defensive touchdown early and give you the first score, and then your offense piggybacks on top of that and gets their own. And any coach we've ever talked to, and we've had that conversation with them prior to the game, they always say, if we can score on defense or special teams, that gives us like a 95% chance of winning the game. I don't know if that number's correct, but it certainly does tend to play out that way, doesn't it?
It does. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. They're still in search of an initial first down as they come up here 1st and 10. And he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it, and it's 2nd down.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Jordan Hicks. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
Well, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted.
LaMarcus Joyner with a pick.
And the Jets are going to take possession here at their own 16-yard line.
But that's the kind of interception that can save a game right there. They're already down 2 scores. Huge play, slowing down what was going against them.
I was thinking the same thing. You get down 3 scores there at this stage, could be in for a long ball game.
Now Hall to start the drive.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
Well, you don't turn your nose up at a gain of 4, do you? They'll take that on 1st down. Playbook's got to be pretty well open on 2nd and 6.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
Hall again on 2nd down.
And he'll get only a couple up to the 22.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Here we go.
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down. From the gun, it's Wilson. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Eric Kendricks with a big-time sack on 3rd down. It's a loss of 7. Now the Jets send on Braden Mann to punt. 46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. And now a fair catch called for and taken just outside the 40-yard line. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return.
And it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway.
And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
Play fake. Cousins. He'll fire it deep for Rager. And Geisman complete. Touchdown, Vikings.
So 20-0 now, pending the extra point, and this place is jumping.
Yeah, you can feel it, can't you? You can also see it. You're seeing people in the stands now, excited, happy, high-fiving each other, and expecting this score to continue to mount.
Out for the PAT, here's Johnson.
And it is now 21-0. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive.
Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession, but I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. And if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
Only a yard on the pickup, so from a good situation on 2nd and 2, it's now 3rd and 1.
They'll run with Hall.
And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. That right there, a good sign for a team that's had trouble converting 3rd down so far this year. They're in the bottom 5 in the NFL, but they come through there.
Yeah, and I bet if we put our guy Marvin on the case and say, Marvin, tell us where they rank on 3rd and what, right? I bet they're in the top 5 in the league on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 or more, because that's how you end up not converting. Just too much yardage to pick up on 3rd down.
On 1st down, right back to Hall. And space tough to come by there as he'll get maybe a yard to the 37.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game of the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
And he's missed now in his first 4 passing attempts. The rhythm is just not there to begin this ball game.
The Jets on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Here's Wilson to throw. Over the middle, complete. That's Moore. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York.
Elijah Moore.
His first touchdown on the year.
And the Jets get a bit closer.
Zerline connects on the extra point, and they'll cut the lead to 21-7. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away.
Nwangu now from his end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled it to 20.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
And as the offense begins another drive here, pretty simple, Charles. They want to carbon copy what happened the last time out when they ended their drive in the end zone.
You're right about that, partner. It sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? Just score again, but we know it's not that simple because we don't just make adjustments at halftime if you're a good football team. You spend that time on the sideline, you study what's on the notes and the tablets, and you make those adjustments, prevent a repeat of the last drive. Series to series, the best teams, that's how they get it done.
And we'll find out here soon enough whether those adjustments are enough defensively.
And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
On 3rd down, Cousins. That's to Dalvin Cook, his running back. And he will have a Vikings first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
And they'll use him out in the backfield, and sometimes quite a bit. They're just trying to get him touches any way they can. 4 catches a week ago. There's another one right there.
Left side, Cook. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
A big play there for Minnesota. 59 yards. It's Cousins on the sneak. And he'll get in. He's over for the touchdown. The sneak successful from a yard out. And the Vikings take a 3-touchdown lead. Nice job of polishing off that drive, but all the credit there goes to that play prior.
Yeah, it certainly does, because after that big play, I think resistance almost felt futile at that point, didn't it? And the very next play, they come right back, quick, fast, and in a hurry, and put it in the end zone.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive.
Right now, Charles, it just feels like they're trying to keep pace. They did score the touchdown last time out, but they still trail by double digits here. We'll see if this offense is once again up to the task.
Yeah, and I think that after the last drive, they've got to be pretty revved up, don't you think? Everything they were doing was working pretty well. They go back out there with the same mindset, playing the same tempo and the same pace. Still a lot of time left to make something happen in this one.
The play fake. Here's Wilson.
Quick throw, knocked away, and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Now it's Wilson. He'll get this into the hands of Braxton Berrios. And he's going to come up a bit short. He needed to get to the 35 for the first, but he only makes it to the 34. On fourth down, punt coming from Braden Mann. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Three-yard punt, but they get 9 back on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway.
And just inside of a minute left, Charles. They got a the third interception thrown by Cousins.
Picked off by Ashton Davis. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line.
So first thing that crossed my mind is, why didn't they just sit on the lead and take it to the locker room? They're in good shape.
Absolutely. And from this spot on the field, now you've given the other side a chance for points here going into intermission.
Yeah, you changed the momentum of the game, and it's something you did not need to do.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up. found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
They haven't made much of this great starting field position they had. Here's 3rd and 6. Play action. Now Wilson. Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. And the kick is good. He needed a little help there from the crossbar, but the carom goes his way.
So that, Charles, a season long right there.
And you know who's really excited about that? The special teams coordinator, because he's the one who has to tell the head coach in pregame, this is where we trust him from. This distance, he can hit it, and he repaid that trust by knocking that one right through.
Nuwanger now from his end zone. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
And with a 3-score lead already, this is not time for a momentum change, so I'd imagine they'd be happy to just take this into the locker room.
Now the Jets going to use the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. After the sack, they're staring at a challenge basically from the other side of town. It's 2nd and a country mile. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Jordan Whitehead. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half.
Well, Charles, so close to halftime there. You throw the interception. Not only that, you do give it to them in plus territory as well.
Yeah, they were pushing real hard to try and get something more on the board on their side of the ledger right before the half. Looking at it with 20/20 hindsight, though, might have been better to hand it off a few times, hoping to get something to break instead of putting the ball in the air and, of course, putting the ball in jeopardy.
After the interception, here's Wilson. And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing from this defense because their coverage has been playing at a shutdown level so far. Even backed up late, they're forcing incompletions and fighting to keep them out of the end zone as the first half winds down.
Zerline's kick is up and through, and that will do it for this first half. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth ready for quarter number 3. The Jets going to get the football first, and they trail as well as we get back underway in this second half.
Berrios going to bring this out of the end zone.
The Jets take over 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive.
By no means certainly are they out of this contest. 2-score game start of the 3rd quarter, but you feel like if they don't get points and then they give up points, then it can become a slippery slope. This feels like an important possession.
Yeah, and that slope becomes even more slick if you come away empty-handed on this drive, because then you give them a chance to extend their lead. You need some kind of points here, even if it's just a field goal. It's what I call one of those calming drives. Try and slow things down a little bit.
Johnson running left. And he's got room. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. A big play on the ground there. It goes for 36 yards. The big play has him all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10.
On 1st and 10, it's Hall.
And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn 1 here in this 3rd quarter. They go play action with Wilson. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Za'Darius Smith from his outside linebacker spot, forcing the sack for a loss of 8.
I'd say it's not panic time yet, but let's be honest about it. Empty possession here, not what you're looking for when you're down a couple of scores.
Absolutely not. Trying to start the second half off on the right foot. Unfortunately, going to give the ball up.
So now Wilson and the Jets with a 3rd and long here following the sack.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Wilson, he's going to loft one deep left side here. That's caught inside the 20. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Every defensive staff harps on limiting explosive plays. Job not so well done there.
Yeah, they talk about it all the time. A lot harder to stop, though, isn't it? And when you think of an explosive play, most offensive staffs define them as passes of 20 or more yards and runs of 15 or more yards.
They run zooming past that number there. No gain there, and it's going to set up 2nd and goal. They'll try to run with Hall. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2. Now they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Hall again.
And he is in. Touchdown, New York.
Breece Hall. His 8th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Jets are able to cut into this lead as they score on the opening drive of the 2nd half.
Zerline good with a PAT. And this is back to an 8-point game. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away.
Nuwangu now from his end zone. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down officially at the 21.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway.
And maybe some renewed pressure on this unit following the touchdown a moment ago. It's back to a 1-score game.
And because of that pressure, because it's now a 1-score game, they know this is where you need to slow the momentum change. Because otherwise, that can overrun your team. You got to be careful right here. I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them. And these guys have been taking advantage so far.
A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. And the tackle there by Quan Alexander. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
On the Jets sweep, here comes Jefferson. And some solid footwork there as he'll take this down to about the 38.
13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down.
An excellent run there coming from out wide.
And we used to consider these jet sweeps to be gadget plays or something a little bit unusual, right? But now most teams have some version of this play in their playbook. And I think it's a lot because of the receivers that are being developed nowadays. These guys look like running backs.
Touchdown, Vikings! Kirk Cousins with 3 touchdown passes now in the afternoon. And they are able to add on to their advantage. That's an early touchdown grab for last week's NFC Offensive Player of the Week. He was so electric, and they talked about it all week long. Have to try to contain it.
And now for him, being able to focus on the task at hand and not just immediately assume that last week it totally carries over, but you got to like the start that he has, showing those great hands that we've seen from him throughout.
Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away.
Berrios now from his end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. They did what they had to do to start this third quarter, went down, got the touchdown to cut the lead, but the matching touchdown a moment ago, and we're right back where we started at halftime.
Yeah, you're exactly right, partner. They had a little bounce in their step after scoring that first touchdown, but the defense gave one up, and that's the problem right now. Can they get better play from their defense while they continue to score on offense?
One play has them up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Wilson. Escaping the pressure right. And he wisely will throw that one away.
Partner, I think it's high time to get him some passes that he's comfortable with. Some easy throws, some completions. He's not even hitting the 50% thus far.
Well, certainly that has played a big role into why they are trailing right now.
Glad to have you with us from Minneapolis. Third quarter here, 2nd and 10.
Now Wilson.
And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down.
All right, help me out here a little bit, partner, because what I'm seeing is a passing game that's just struggled to complete anything. No rhythm, no timing. Seems like every pass is also contested well, so give some credit to the defense.
On 3rd down, Wilson. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down.
Multiple defenders get to him there, and that is the 6th time he's been sacked in this ballgame.
Here's the Jets punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
On 2nd down, Cook. And he'll get this up over the 25 to the 26.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
The Jets will bring in a nickel set here as they try to stop this 3rd down. Cousins to throw it. Lets it fly for Thielen. And that one incomplete. They try to sneak in a deep ball with the clock running down, but to no avail as time will expire on this third quarter of play.
Jets 20.
Here's Michael Pilardi now. Always a good sign when your first punt comes in the fourth quarter. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away.
And here comes Berrios.
And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like, right at the 40. We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive.
Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news. But this is still a two-score game, and they need points on this drive and in a relatively quick manner. Taken down at the 42.
Defenses always talk about earning the right to rush the passer on 3rd down. And you know what offenses want? Win 1st down so they can set things up for themselves better.
And that wasn't helpful there. Not a big impact on 1st down. Throwing on 2nd and 8. Wilson. And he's going to be brought down here in the backfield. Daniil Hunter in there with pressure yet again. That is the 7th time that they have dropped him here this afternoon.
Remember, throughout my career here, defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. Well, they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed. And he'll find Hall. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. They wind up getting 16, but even that's not quite enough. It's 4th down.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? Here's the Jets punter now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking 1st downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, 1st downs, they can't touch the ball.
Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the 1st.
Well, it may seem a little unorthodox to some people. Got the lead, 4th quarter, yet he's still firing away. I think he believes that's the best way to go ahead and win the game.
Yeah, a lot of coaches say, let's just run the football, be conservative. He's sticking to his game plan.
No, that is his game, and that's what they're going to ride.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. They go play action. Cousins.
Oh, going for Jefferson downfield.
Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. Touchdown.
Justin Jefferson.
His 3rd touchdown of the game, number 15 on the year.
And the Vikings are about to make it 4 straight as they add to this 4th quarter advantage. And Johnson's extra point up and good.
And the lead opens up now to 22 points. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
Berrios going to bring this out of the end zone.
Berrios on the return. The Jets take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive.
Their mini 2-game win streak appears it might be going by the wayside unless they can pull a rabbit out of their hat.
And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line.
42 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times.
So after a run like that, I will guarantee that the head coach is saying to himself, maybe even over his headsets to the rest of the staff, what was that all game long? We needed that. That's the type of run we planned for going into the game. Didn't get much of that, but let's move it forward. Let's build on it, get ready for the next week, and let's go play.
They go quickly here out to Moore. His second catch, and this one not nearly as electrifying as his first. And it'll bring up third down now. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
On third down, here's Hall. And he's brought down short. 2 yards there, needed 4. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it, get the first down, close it out.
Fielded just inside the 20. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
It's been a dominant performance to this point, Charles, and this is probably exactly how they scripted this and envisioned it.
And that's caught inside the 35. And he'll be hauled down about the 30-yard line.
No let-up in this passing game. They've been a well-oiled machine throughout. And I actually saw a few guys on the sidelines at the end of the third quarter doing the old hold-up 4 fingers college sign, meaning the fourth quarter is ours. And they certainly weren't kidding.
So first and 10 now from the 30. Here's Cousins.
And he's got this to Jefferson.
And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. A good pickup there, 26 yards. Throwing here, Cousins. Touchdown, Vikings.
Justin Jefferson
From 4 yards out. And the Vikings have opened up a 4-touchdown lead here in the fourth.
And Johnson's extra point up and good.
And that'll push the lead up to 29 now.
49, Jets 20.
Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive.
Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, it's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnel. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Here's Wilson. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Jordan Hicks getting him 1 once again, his third sack of the afternoon.
Partner, my vocabulary isn't that great, but to me, there's only one word that fits this front seven today, and that's dominant. 4 and 5 sacks is already rare in one game. Getting to more than 6 in one contest while winning by this many points, an absolutely astounding effort by every player involved.
And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high. What a performance by the offense, too. I mean, really, Charles, just complete domination on both sides of the football here in this one.
It certainly was, and I think both sides compete against each other all the time. You go to each other in practice, obviously your training camps, your off-season. But on game day, you both want to show your best. And I think that's what we saw from both the offense and the defense, a complete team victory.
So for the Vikings, the win moves them a couple games over 500 now at 7-5. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Detroit Lions. Meanwhile, for the Jets, they fall to 6-6 now on the campaign. And they'll try to get back on track next week as they head up to Orchard Park to take on the Buffalo Bills.